Hi, I'm Gaz. I make videos about lots of different things, and in today's video I'm going to tell you how I gave up smoking. So stay tuned to the latest episode of the G-Log!
Meet radio and television personality Gaz Reynolds, the founder of World Domination Records and Great Drive Driving School. Like, comment and subscribe to be part of the journey. This is Gaz Reynolds, the G-Log.
The G-Log album is now on sale worldwide. Get your copy now, available at YouTube Music, Spotify and all major outlets around the world. Links in the description below. Welcome to another exciting episode of the G-Log. I thought I'd make a video today on how I actually stopped smoking, and I thought it'd be quite useful for people that might be watching this video that actually want to give up smoking as well. Now, a little bit of history behind my smoking. I actually started smoking when I was about 21, and probably like most people who start smoking, I thought it was really cool and hip and trendy, until I started realising years down the line that my teeth were going brown, that there was always a horrible stale smell around me, and it was actually pretty expensive. And so I got thinking about my health, and I started to think, hang on a minute, I think I need to quit. So I'm going to jump straight into the video and tell you my story. So I actually live in London, and it's very common amongst Londoners, sorry about that. It's very common amongst Londoners, and you'll find Europeans generally, to smoke, and it seems to be very much on the rise again, popularity wise. So even though the UK government's tried to do everything to make smoking antisocial, to be quite honest with you, I see so many people smoking, and if they're not smoking then they're vaping, and to me vaping and smoking are very, you know, pretty much the same type of thing really. You're still inhaling nicotine. I know there's alternatives which have got no nicotine in, but all the people I know that vape, they're actually using vapes which have got nicotine in them. So I actually started smoking quite late in life. I was probably between 21 and 24, and like I mentioned, I got up to 60 cigarettes a day, and I had this really bad habit of smoking and actually having a coffee as well. So it was a real problem, and I was really putting my health at risk. At one point my whole life just evolved around smoking. So for example, I'd wake up in the morning, have a coffee and a cigarette.
Have breakfast and then smoke a cigarette. Have lunch, then smoke a cigarette. Then have dinner, smoke a cigarette. Go for a walk, smoke a cigarette. Speak to friends, smoke a cigarette. Do this, smoke a cigarette. Do that, smoke a cigarette. Smoke a cigarette, 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 smoke a cigarette.
Now I actually got up to smoking 60 cigarettes a day, and I just cannot believe that now. So I was really putting my health at serious risk. And what was even worse is that most of the time when I was having a cigarette, I also had a black coffee as well. So I actually found that my hands at one point were literally like that all day long, because I was so, you know, wired out, as I sort of used to describe it. My hands were literally going like that because I had too much caffeine inside me, and then probably too much nicotine as well. What I didn't know is that there's around about 7,000 chemicals in cigarettes, so of course you're inhaling all of those chemicals, and it's just not good at all. So I decided to literally go cold turkey, and that's how I got off of cigarettes. Yes, I did miss it for a little while, but I literally just went cold turkey and refused to hang around anybody that smoked. And whilst I did still get the cravings, I refused to buy any cigarettes. And how I put myself off of cigarettes is I just kept on thinking about my health, and what really put me off is I was really thinking about the cost of it, and thinking about what I could actually be buying instead of buying a packet of cigarettes. So going cold turkey was the only way that I felt that I could actually give up smoking, because I'd tried so many other ways, like the patches. I think I even had hypnotherapy at one point. I tried counselling. There was all kinds of stuff that I actually tried, but I always seemed to go back to smoking, and particularly if I smelt cigarette smoke or if I was around people that were smoking, then I'd usually sort of light up, and that just wasn't good. So I just literally decided to go cold turkey, and that was the way that I actually got off of smoking. So whilst I was staying off the cigarettes, I decided that I needed to get off of coffee as well, because I knew that I linked coffee and smoking together. Now, quite often smokers say that they like to have a glass of wine or cup of tea or whatever. For me, it was definitely coffee, and I was really hooked on coffee as well as the nicotine from the cigarettes. So cutting out coffee as well really helped me, and I went into detox, and then I started looking at other options to replace cigarettes. So I started to look at my lifestyle, and really I realised that what I needed to do is replace my smoking habit with more positive things in life and more healthy sort of lifestyle, such as eating fruit and vegetables, and I started going for walks and started to exercise. Now that all helped with me, because I'm quite an obsessive sort of person really, and I can easily get addicted to things. So I actually found that I actually got addicted to eating fruit and veg. I know it sounds a bit strange, and I actually got addicted to exercising to the point of where I lost so much weight at one point it was getting quite ridiculous. Now I have actually put on a little bit of weight since then, and I've been a little bit naughty with my diet, but I am actually going to be getting back into my exercising soon, and it's all about mental discipline really. And so for anybody that's thinking about smoking or trying to quit smoking, really what you've got to do is get your head in the right space in the first place, and then just basically how I did it is I just woke up one morning and I said, that's it, I'm going for it, and I never turned back. I never went back to smoking after that, and I don't even miss it now. Occasionally you know, I might sort of have the odd craving, but then it soon passes, and in fact I very rarely have cravings now, to be really honest with you. So now when I really think about it, usually I used to smoke if I got stressed out or bored, or if something was on my mind, then I'd always turn to the cigarette. And what I realised is that I needed to heal emotionally, and this is the advice that I'd give anybody that's watching this video now that actually is trying to quit smoking, is try and find more positive things in life and try and keep away from all those negatives. And I'm a great believer in trying to keep positive things around my life. And you know, I'm a singer as well as a vlogger, and well, I'm a businessman as well, and so I focus my mind now very much on those creative things, and I keep well away from smoking. And the funny thing is, when I was recording lots of records and albums, and you know, obviously I needed to have my lungs very clear for singing, it was very strange, because quite often I'd be in a recording studio and I'd be puffing away on a fag, as we call them here. That's the English for you. Bit weird really. My final piece of advice for anyone trying to give up smoking is take each day as it comes. So don't try and rush through it. If you feel that you need to have the occasional cigarette, then maybe you should. Me personally, I found it much easier just completely not having any cigarettes around me at all, and just keeping away from smokers for a while. That worked for me. Whether it would work for you is something that you'd need to do by trial and error, but I can only tell you what actually worked for me. So that's my smoking story. Hopefully you guys that are watching this video now have found it very useful. If you have, I'd love to hear your comments down below, and I'd even like to hear your stories about how you quit, or how you're trying to quit, or even asking for advice, because I might be able to give you a few little tips on what I found useful. So if you have found this video useful, or you've enjoyed it, then please give it a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that, and leave your comments down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, maybe consider subscribing as well, because I do a lot of videos about a lot of different subjects. Quite often they're pretty wacky and a bit crazy, but I also cover some very serious topics as well. That's the end of today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.
Hi mortals, I'm Jesus. You can now purchase Gaz Reynolds Presents The G-Log, Album Volume 1 from Apple Music, Spotify, and all major outlets around the world. Includes the massive hits Electronic Kama Sutra, I Only Hear You, and Dark Lady. This is one heavenly experience you won't forget. By the way, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification button so that you can watch every episode of the G-Log religiously.
I only hear you.
Out now, Gaz Reynolds' new album, The Wedding Album, as featured on Big Review TV and Radio Harrow. Available at iTunes and all major outlets worldwide.